Greetings, Cleveland, and welcome to Creative Focus, the show that illuminates some of Cleveland's most talented and creative artists across the genres of dance, film, music, theater, and visual arts. I'm your host, Cornell Calhoun III, and I'm thrilled to be at the Tower Press Development Live, Work, Loft Building, 1900 Superior Avenue, here in preparation for the Tower Press Artists Art Exhibit, taking place on October the 18th. Let's go inside and meet some of the talented artists. Welcome to Creative Focus, Mike. I'm here with Mike Lilly, award-winning photographer. Talk a little bit about your artistic journey, Michael.
Okay, well, when I first started out, I went to Tri-C, Eastern Campus, and I was working for the newspaper. And, I had an interest in photography out of high school. Kind of got, I wanted to work for the school yearbook. It didn't work out. And then I took it to junior college, and I worked at the newspaper. I worked at Metro. I played basketball there, and it all focused in. Yeah.
And how do you feel about the artistic climate of Cleveland?
Cleveland is, we're a great city for all kinds of different genres, different things. I worked at the Call and Post newspaper, which is a historic Black newspaper. A lot of history here in Cleveland with our sports and all kinds of things that I was able to capture.
Are there any artists, the photographers who went before you that you kind of emulate or that you look up as heroes?
Oh yeah, definitely. You mean locally or just locally? Jimmy Gale actually mentored me. I can say it now. He used to sneak me in the plain dealer darkroom. He worked late at night and taught me, how to do the darkroom tricks and things like that. The late Jimmy Gale, and Clarence Tabb was the second African American at the plain dealer. He's now still currently active at the Detroit News, and very, very talented. Those two people really kind of got me into the photojournalism aspect of photography.
What drew you to the Tower Press Development? Why did you want to be a part of this wonderful spot for artists?
Okay, well, I always knew the Tower Press because, right across from the plain dealer where I was sneaking in the darkroom there. And, a couple of people had moved here. They had a nice coffee shop in front that everybody knew about. Wasn't too many eateries in the area. We came right across. And then there's a gentleman that's been here for a while, Robert Banks. Photographer, filmmaker. We worked together in a project that was at the Western Reserve, the History in Their Hands exhibit. And, I came to visit him on one of his little film days. And I said, man, this is a nice place. Are they have any openings? And he said, well, yeah, I can put your name in, whatever. And I've been here about a year now.
And what's important about artists being around other artists?
Oh man, it's just awesome. Where I used to live, I had a nice view of the lake and different things, but I didn't grow as an artist. There was, like minds, people in the building that can share, and every 4 times a year we have an exhibit here in the gallery, and then they have situations they come to your unit and look at your work. But it's awesome to be around like minds and other artists, painters, sculptors, photographers. It's a great thing.
And what should people expect when they come to the art exhibit?
To see all different types of stuff. There's one lady that does live painting. Robert Banks does his little movies. You see other photography. There's a wide range of art that we need to see. I think years past they had a Lolly the Trolley or something that came with busloads of people. I would love to get back to that. I mean, I don't know if Lolly the Trolley is still around. I guess it is.
So you're a Cleveland native, right?
I'm a Cleveland native.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Shaker Heights.
You went to Shaker Heights?
Yeah.
Red Raiders?
Red Raiders, yeah.
You play ball there?
I played a little ball. I was just starting my basketball career, and we have kind of a connection. We know Coach John Shavers.
Yeah, Coach was my coach at East Tech, the Mighty Scarabs. Yeah, and then he went on to Kennedy. And do you do a lot of photography related to sports, Mychel?
I did. I did 30 years of that, working with the paper, Browns, Cavs. But now I'm kind of looking at my archives. This is my 40th year in the photography.
40th year.
4 decades, wow. Man. So, yeah, I interned with the Browns in '86. Kind of interns with the Cavs. I don't remember what year, but I remember World Be Free was playing. Yeah. So
that was a while.
Yeah, it's a while ago. It's a funny story. Remember Brian Marshall?
Yeah.
Mychel?
Right, yeah.
So he was a strength coach for the Cavs then back at Richfield. And I saw him, and it was always good to see a guy, guy of color looking over there and other than the players. And I said, Brian, man, can you go in the locker room? I wear a 15. Can you get me out something? I don't know if you remember this name, Ben Poquette.
I remember Ben Poquette.
Big that was when Mel Turpin. And he came out with some size 15s, and I was so happy, man. I wore those shoes so they had holes in them, And so to answer the question, sports with basketball was kind of my end, and there's some stories behind that. But that was my way into sports photography, playing myself.
What do you hope your legacy will be, Mike, really, when you're done?
I want to make a difference. Actually, now I want to teach and kind of go back and help, other people, use my experience to share with other people to help. I want to leave a legacy for my grandchildren, my daughter. They came to the exhibit and they, 9 and 5 years old. They running around. They really don't. But hopefully that'll stick down the road. But yeah, I just want to leave a legacy in Cleveland. The exhibit was an honor because it. At the Western Reserve Historical Society, honoring 70 years of African American photography in Cleveland. And that's to be an honor to be one of the 6 photographers in that exhibit. But yeah.
That's incredible, man. Thanks for the interview. I'll see you at the exhibition.
Thank you.
Ready to move, groove, and feel great? Join us at Frederick Douglass Neighborhood Resource and Recreation Center for yoga and line dance for ages 18 and up. Refresh your mind, energize your body, and connect with the community. Call 216-664-6882 or stop by Frederick Douglass at 15401 Miles Avenue for more information. Don't miss out. Your wellness journey starts now.
This fall, the Cultural Arts team is bringing free, hands-on arts programming to recreation centers across Cleveland. From after-school arts and cooking club to dance, ceramics, and more, there's something for kids, families, and adults alike. All instruction and materials are provided. Registration is open now. For a full list of programs, check us out at clevelandohio.gov or call 216-664-4183 for more information. Get creative this fall with the Cultural Arts team.
I'm with award-winning filmmaker, Mr. Robert Banks, also a resident at the Tower Press Development. Robert, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. So give a little history about the building, because a lot of people don't know the rich history of this wonderful institution.
Wow, this building has been a treasure for the Midtown area, I guess you can call it down here. We call it the Arts District, pretty much. It's been here, I want to say, over 100 years, maybe more than that, I believe. My numbers could be off. And I know it's been everything from a printing factory to a textiles factory. And I'm not sure exactly when, but at one point, once all that folded, it still remained, and then it wound up sadly being a derelict for a while. And I know through some of the homeless people around here I've chatted with, because when I first moved in, there were still a few homeless people that actually peeked in to say, oh, they've done a good job here, because this was in many ways kind of like a haven or shelter when it was a derelict. And it actually had a community here, pretty much. But once it was renovated, the Perkowskis came in.
Dave and Karen.
Yeah, David and Karen Perkowski, they came in, and I guess their goal was, with many other property owners, they wanted to see downtown make a comeback. And the initial goal was to sort of bring an energy back to not so much reconstructing, but taking the buildings that are here or that are like historical or whatnot, like this one, and just sort of renovate it and just make it what it is now. And they did a phenomenal job. I mean, the building, from what I remembered as a kid, was kind of creepy looking. It looked like it was out of almost like a castle from a horror film. But they literally went in there, they redid the brick, they redid some of the engravings, the tower especially. It's just, everything is just, it has a new life to it. And the building has been just this monument towards the city now, I think. And it's just, it's been, for me, a phenomenal place. I've been working here. I moved in here to work, my studio. That's been, what, 2003? That was, yeah. So I guess I'm like one of the first original tenants, so to speak, and I'm still here and worked with a lot of my interns and students. I've did classes here, did workshops, the whole 9 yards, and working with the other artists here on the first floor. Photographers, designers, painters, sculptors, musicians, you name it.
You name it.
Yeah. I mean, and so giving that plus the tenants upstairs, the businesses and the regular residents, it's given a whole new vibe down here, especially with the plain dealer across the street, or what's now the county elections or whatever. So yeah, but so no, the building has a tremendous history as well as now this great energy that we give to this area. So, you know, it's the Arts District, and our building is like one of the key pieces, because before we had our building being this new star and the kid on the block, it was the Arts Craft building,
right,
which is now the new police precinct.
Gonna
be. So yeah, so it sort of keeps it balanced, because I think this area itself is still so unique in terms of, on one aspect overall, the Hamilton, you have it still somewhat on the industrial side, but here, before you get to the Cleveland State area, you still have this sort of this balance that leads to this whole community. And it's just, you know, and the creative component, I think, is really strong here, so.
What word do I want to use? What is the impact of being an artist in an artist's building, would you say? Why is that so important?
Well, it's funny you mention that, because in many ways, the communal aspect of us being under one roof, and we're each other's neighbor and everything. And then on top of that, you have the geographical environment of the area, which we consider a strong element towards what we do as artists. Because, you know, a lot of people, they like creating, they like being isolated, they like being in a rural environment, you know, out in the country or somewhere like that, or in the mountains or whatever. And then some of us, we love the urban aspect of it, and the concrete and the noise and the, you know, and the cars and the buses and the construction work. And that's a part of who we are and everything. That's who I am, at least. And that's a key element here. And that's one of the reasons why I love this building, because you're walking distance from downtown. I'm close to my mom's house, which is like 6 minutes from here. But aside from that, if you need to go to the Rock Hall or go to the public library or go to Rocket Mortgage, whatever. I mean, if you want to just make the effort, you can just walk anywhere you want, or even do a quick bike ride. And all of that stuff just makes it all the more connected. Everything's more grounded. I mean, I just like the idea that if I want to go out and do some photos or shoot some film or do some sketches or record some audio, I could either open my window and do it that way. I've done that many times. Or I could just walk out and go 15 yards that way, 15 yards that way. And it's just, the possibilities are endless. And every other artist here, we all share that same attitude. It's just, there's nothing better than being in this landscape of the blue collar Rust Belt, but on an urban level, along with the whole downtown that we're all connected with. So it's just the perfect location, perfect vibe, perfect atmosphere, and it just stays, what's the word? It's relative, it's all connected, you know, so yeah.
Talk about your own artistic journey and how you got started in film.
That old story, well, it's funny because I'll say this much, because I've been doing film since I was a kid. My dad got me into it. He was the one that sort of put a projector and a camera in my hands when I was little. Worked around the house in the old neighborhood in the Huff area, doing that in the neighborhood, the backyard with the kids, showing films in the backyard. A lot of that evolved with me over the years because it never left. I sort of went through a lot, you know. I lost my dad when I was in the military. I wanted to continue his legacy, kept going, stayed with my mom instead of moving out to Los Angeles or New York. Stayed with her, still kept doing the film thing, growing, expanding, learning the process, learning the craft, maintaining a discipline, and then getting a taste of how things work in Cleveland. But in my mom's house, I had a lab and I had a little mini studio in the attic. And so a lot of work was being made. But it just got to the point where I had to go outside and beyond that because I just couldn't do much more. So I needed a proper environment. And so when I heard about some of the buildings being renovated, I'm thinking, well, that might actually be what I'm looking for. And it turned out that it was a lot harder than I thought. And then all of a sudden, this opportunity popped up. And I'm thinking, oh, that's gonna be a long shot because they don't want just anybody in here. And sure enough, I applied, and they were excited the fact that I actually did these kind of weird films, because it wasn't just movies. These were like more experimental films or more film essays, and the same thing with the photography and with the sound stuff that I did. So this was a perfect transition. And so the film thing, along with making the films and the photography and all that, because now I have this facility to do all these crazy things. It's like a mad scientist setup, that's what people tell me. Along with that, the added bonus was being able to screen films. And so I started showing films in the unit, which at some point expanded because too many people were showing up. And so we had to find another way of running these films, because at one point we had like 50 people in my unit and it was almost like a fire hazard.
Wow.
So I decided, you know what? Where else can I do this? And so I asked Karen and David, what if we showed films out in the back patio? And they were like, sure, go for it. And I'm like, okay, so we tried it. And we ran a few films back in like 2005, 20 years ago actually, out there, and it wound up taking off. And that slowly grew. And now every summer we do our film nights out in the patio. And it's the same thing as I did as a kid in the Huff area. Set up the projector, set up the screen, set up a little sound system, run films. Now we get anywhere between 40 to 50 to 100 people almost for certain films. It's free, open to the public. But once again, that ties into the aspect of being a filmmaker, because I tell all my students and my interns, you really can't be a filmmaker if you don't watch films and know and appreciate the process of presenting films, as well as the impact the audience is getting from them. So, you know, so it comes full circle. And just once again, this place, it's now part of the building. People every summer expect, when are the films being shown? What are you showing this summer? And what kind of films? And want to stress the fact too, the films are shown on traditional celluloid, on film reels. So 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, even 8 millimeter, we've shown stuff. So, and it's now a key element of what the building is. I mean, you know, it's part of Tower Press, and it's part of the downtown area. Supposedly within a square mile radius, people around here know about the film nights, and they you know, so,
They come.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you enjoy most about being an artist, Robert?
I guess the thing I enjoy most for being an artist is that, especially in this political landscape that we're in, not to get on my soapbox, but there's things you can say and express without causing any harm or danger or damage. Because lately we've been going through a lot as a culture, as a community, as a city, as a country, as a nation, and the world in general. And every artist will tell you, we have to vent, we have to release, we have to express. We want also to inspire people, want people to sort of reflect upon what they're seeing and what we have to say. And these are the things that I love, because it's a challenge. It's always been a challenge, it'll always be a challenge. As the technology changes, I think society is starting to lose their grip on their morals and as their humanity. And I think, and a lot of the artists here, we all agree, you know, people need to sort of remember we're physical flesh and blood human beings. You know, we are analog. You know, everybody's all about their phones and all about being online, and they're just so out of touch with reality. And then on top of that, they're being influenced by all these things that are being put out by the media, and people don't know what's right, what's wrong. Now you have AI, tainting people's ideology. So that's the stuff, more than anything else, it makes it exciting to really go in there and challenge that, and you put everything you can into it, because it starts down here and from here to here,
Right.
And for that, you take whatever means possible, whether it's a camera, your lights, sounds, a piece of paper, some paint, some inks, ceramics, your musical instruments, whatever it takes, and that's what it keeps me going. And it's, the old saying, I've been saying this for like the last 30 years, you don't get mad, you get creative. And that's what it's all about. Get creative and put everything into that, and it's like a phenomenal weapon. And it's literally almost unstoppable.
Let's talk about the art exhibit that's coming up in October. When, where? Give us a little information on it.
Yeah, every year we do a show here, all the artists on the first floor. And once again, we are artists, we're working artists, and we want people to see what we do. So October 18th in our Wooltex Gallery, we're gonna be doing another group show. It's our annual group show, and it'll be myself and all the other artists here on the first floor. And it'll be, once again, you'll be seeing photography, designer clothes, paintings, sculptures. There'll be some mixed media type stuff, a little bit of everything. And it's open to the public, it's free, and the work is for sale. Feel free to buy work. And it's affordable too. A lot of what we have is affordable too, because we want people to buy our work too, so we're not like that. But so no, come on down for that. And there'll be food, there'll be maybe some refreshments. Probably nothing alcoholic, but who knows? We just might, I don't know. Every so often we do that, and we have fun. It's almost like a mini reception party type thing, but it's definitely about the work. But the icing on the cake, when we do it for the, October, which is the fall season, we usually do it deliberately because we want to tie it into the sort of Halloween themes, because usually the whole area is sort of getting ready for Halloween.
Right.
And so for the last few years, we've done this in October. We do the film nights too. So there'll be a film screening after the exhibition. The exhibition starts at 5 o'clock, goes on till 9. Then immediately after we shut down the exhibit, the film starts. And this year, we're gonna show George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
The original Dawn of the Dead from 1978. And once again, it'll be shown on a 16mm film print. We got straight from Italy.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a director's cut. So that's gonna be special. So yeah, last year we ran Horror of Dracula, and the year before that we ran Phantom of the Paradise. So we run a lot of cult films and everything. We try to tie it into the theme and the narrative. And I think this year's theme is gonna be a little bit more, not political, but we just wanna address more socially conscious type issues with what's going on. So yeah, because we try to have a theme every year. So
and that's October the 18th.
October
from
18th.
5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yep.
And then the film screening
Immediately
afterwards.
Immediately afterwards, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. And it's free. Remember, it's free, open to the public.
Right.
Yeah.
Free to the public, right?
Yes.
What's the most exciting aspect of this exhibition for you?
For me, especially this time around, because normally what I do is have like a few monitors and a few video film loops of mine. That's usually what I do. Every so often I'll have photos. This time I'm gonna be a little bit more outgoing. I'm actually gonna have large prints that I've done over the years. Some of them are actually photos that I've shot like maybe 10, 15 years ago. Large format stuff that I've shot that no one's never seen. So I'm digging up a lot of my older stuff that I've been doing almost, I wanna say, since I've been here, and a little bit before that, because a lot of people know me mainly as a filmmaker and not as much as a photographer.
Right.
Because I do a lot of portrait work, and I do as well a lot of abstract, conceptual, thematic type stuff. So for me, it's gonna be a little different compared to what I've done. So I'm looking forward to that, because I just want people to know that I have a range too. And once again, it's just similar aesthetic and messages like with the films, because when I do a photo shoot, it's still telling a story, regardless of what I'm doing. And the same thing when I do making a film, it's almost like a series of photos, because everything is so perfectly composed, and I'm anal about that stuff. So yeah, I think it's gonna be some cool stuff. People are gonna like it. Some of the portraits were from my little birthday social that I had a few weeks back. And I shot portraits of some of the building tenants here, as well as some of the other artists here, so.
Do you have a preference for yourself, film or photography? Or it's all intersected for you?
Here's the thing, deep down, as far as my love, it's always gonna be movies, because I just love movies. I love films, but I love photography mainly because I just love the spontaneity and the idea of conceptualizing and capturing that moment and making that moment evolve into something beyond what it already is. And the same thing with the films too. Sorry. But no, it's just one thing, it's about capturing the moment. But photography for me, if anything, it's just so, people expect less, it seems like, because they think that they can do that. And so you got to go out of your way to do something even more unique. With film, not everybody can do that, even though people can pull out their iPhone or whatever and make a movie. But even still, the way I make films, I try to go above and beyond, not just the technique, but about a message and an idea that's going to resonate. And most of the films I do involve that. And it's not just working on a camera, it's painting on the film, compositing, doing animation. I do a lot of weird, quirky methods. So deep down, I have to admit, I'm more dedicated to that because I just love doing it. That keeps me, that excites me. I get really excited by that. So, you know.
Robert, thanks so much for being on the show, man.
Well, thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
As always.
I'll see you at the exhibition.
Yeah, October 18th.
October 18th. I'll come right downstairs.
All right, be looking for it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
So that's it, Cleveland. From the Tower Press Development, I'm Cornell Calhoun III for TV 20 and Creative Focus. Until the next time it becomes our time, be well, be safe.